And here the thing is that white sometimes will have the possibility of e takes f5, although at the moment, for instance, e takes f5 would have been bad because of knight h4. But probably my opponent was concerned that after bishop d2, that if he continues with his normal plan, going knight f8, trying to come to e6, then I might play e takes f5, not only getting the pawn, but also making e6 inaccessible for black. So maybe he was concerned, and he took f takes e4. But I certainly saw this move with great relief, because now white doesn't have the double pawns anymore, and is able to advance without this necessity to protect his weakness on f3 all the time. So after f takes e4, bishop e7, now we can take some stock, because black still has his weaknesses, and he already has no compensation. He no more has any compensation for this, because his pawn on e5 is also limiting the movement of his bishop. White only has to watch for black's counterplay, and because I found it difficult to advance without found it difficult to advance having to protect the pawn on b4 all the time, and thus the knight on a5, I decided that after all I have to close the center with c5. And now after the move bishop f6, black's idea became more or less apparent. He tries to go knight f4, and after knight f4 he will be attacking the pawns h3 and d3, and as a result I might be forced to take on f4. For instance, after king e2, knight f4 check, bishop f4, e takes f4. Now you see the fact that I had to take, and also the fact that I cannot advance any of the pawns. Now my pawns are a bit weak. The rook is hanging. I have to go probably to a3, because rook a2, bishop c3 will leave my pieces hanging on the a file. So I go rook a3, and he goes bishop d4, and now you see that in fact he has control. He threatens bishop c5, and the bishop is extremely active on d4, and the knight is pinned along the a file. So I had to prevent this at any cost. And when you realize what your opponent wants to do, and when you realize this has to be prevented, sometimes the moves which help you to prevent it may look funny, may look strange, but may still be the best in the position. I played rook d1, is what Nimzovich used to call a mysterious move. And now after knight f4, I will be able to play bishop takes f4, e takes f4, and d4, and none of this problems with the bishop on d4 will happen. And then I go e5 and activate my king to e4, and basically, because black is forever tied to the defense of the pawn on c6, his task must be very, very difficult.